putting on a brand new show.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Sex, relationships, and advice. It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Get to know your Cooper.
Okay.
What is your love language? Now you got to.
What does that even mean? I've heard girls say that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really know what love language is. My love language is wash my feet.
And you don't, so that's not a love language, I guess.
No, if he washes my feet. Isn't it like what the other person's supposed to do for you? Like if the person washes your feet, that's like my love language is having somebody wash my feet. I don't know. What's a love language? What is it anyway?
Choose the statement that best fits you. I like to spend intimate alone time with people. Mm-hmm. I feel appreciated when someone helps me with little tasks.
What does one thing have to do with the other?
I don't know.
Both.
Which one do you like? Which one do you like most?
I like going out to dinner with my friends, but I also like when people do things for me. Like, can I?
Yeah, you're gonna say people do things for you because you're that person. All right. I love when people give me little things such as candy or flowers, or I feel most loved when people explain what they enjoy about me.
Is this the love language quiz or something? Is that
Yes.
what you get? No, I don't want to take this love language. I don't believe in any of this stuff. This is so stupid.
None of this? You don't feel loved when people explain what they enjoy about you because you've never had that happen. I guarantee it.
It's so awkward. I don't like when people are like, you know what I like about you? And I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you like about me because then I have to think about it every time I see you and be like, well, am I doing that thing this person likes or not? It's too much pressure. I can't handle this.
Oh, and this kind of reminds me of that stupid test they give you when you get a job. Would you rather do this or would you do this in this? I hate. So you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing this.
That's my love language. Screw this.
Right, because I hate those tests, and you get them like every 6 months at work.
Screw this and then screw this. Those are my two love languages.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Here we go.
Sex.
Yes, please.
Relationships. Yeah. Advice.
Are you ready?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
So my boyfriend likes to think he's tough and independent, but what he doesn't know is that I secretly replaced his man card with a laundry card.
It's like a commercial. We secretly changed his coffee to decaffeinated. See if he'll notice.
Exactly. Now, I have that guy totally whipped. In fact, when we first started dating, he laid down the law. He said, like, I'm never going to weddings with you. I don't do family events. I don't clean. I don't cook. None of that. So he set my expectations really low. That's what he was trying to do. So I'm thinking, game on. Let me see how far I can get this. So here we are a few years later. Last week, he went food shopping, not for me, for my parents, and delivered the food to their door. We've been to 3 weddings this year alone. He does the laundry. He cleans the kitchen. He does the dishes. I don't do anything around this house anymore.
Yeah, we do things like that just to make the noise that comes out of your mouth stop. We don't want to hear complaining, so it's just easier to do it and not hear it.
Yeah, just do stuff yourself. But see, we're looking at it like we've won. You realize, like you have lost the war.
Okay,
at this point,
and you have. We'll give you that. You've won. You've won. No, I start out and say, look, I don't give flowers. I don't open car doors. I don't. There's a list of things I don't do. If you don't like it, there's the door. We're going to start this off right. If you want somebody to give you flowers and tell you that you look pretty and open car doors, it's not me.
Here's where Mrs. Anthony was really smart. So you said, I'm not opening car doors. I'm not giving you flowers. She sort of got in under the radar because she didn't ask for flowers or car doors. She asked for you to cook, a clean kitchen, a clean car, like things that you didn't even realize you were doing for her. Yeah, and next thing you know, you're another kind of whipped. Like you're a kind of whipped that you weren't even planning.
Yeah, I look at my life now and say, yeah, I'm pretty whipped. It's like tonight I made dinner. I make dinner every night, and she doesn't know how to cook.
No, she pretends to not know how to cook. That's how we do it. You know, I didn't want to ever have to load a dishwasher. I'm not allowed to touch the dishwasher or laundry. Yes, I've gotten to the point now where you and I used to do laundry together. Don't you remember that time that I didn't know which one was the washing machine, which was the dryer, and I put the clothes and the dishwashing liquid in the dryer because I didn't know that it looked like a washing machine to me.
Yeah, and I had to pull you to the side and said, I'm not your boyfriend. You don't have to act this way towards me. You can do things on your own, but you really can't.
So does your wife have you whipped, or is it a friend of yours who's whipped? You can call and talk about your friend. We're talking about whipped husbands.
Call now
888-460-6002.
Yeah.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com.
New phone. Who dis?
The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, advice.
I think the level of whipped is on a scale of hotness.
What do you mean?
If you're dating or married to somebody extremely hot, the more whipped you are.
Hotness is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, I have friends that are like, oh, I met the hottest guy. I'm sick for him. And I meet them, I'm just like, where's the hot guy? Who's this dude?
Is he behind that guy?
Right? Is this the guy who works for your hot guy who's going to bring him in next? Like, what's happening here? But, I think that it has to do with how desperately you want to be in that relationship.
I think it's hotness. I think if your friends go, damn, and high five you when you walk past, then you're bringing her coffee in the morning.
Right, and you're going to be whipped. You know you're going to be. Like, the minute you meet her, you're like, oh. That's why when men meet really hot women, they go, oh, damn. Because it's not like, oh, damn, I get to be with her. They're like, oh, damn, I have to, do everything for her now. Oh, damn, I am now her housekeeper, too.
I have to learn how to make French toast now.
All right, so, Kat, who wears the pants in your family? Who's whipped?
I have a husband, but my mom trained my dad really well, so I learned from her example.
You learn from the best.
Yeah. My dad wakes up every morning and wakes my mom up to freshly ground coffee. He grinds it every morning for her, and before she's even awake, he brings it to her, and that's how he wakes her up.
That's good. And does your husband do that for you?
Actually, I don't drink coffee, but my husband cooks and cleans and leaves me little love notes everywhere. Like this morning, he left one in my lunchbox.
Oh, what did it say?
Basically how blessed he is to have me in his life, and how much he looks forward to spending the rest of our days together, and just, little things.
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice. What? The Cooper and Anthony Show.
My ex-husband was easy to train because he hadn't had a girlfriend in a long time, so he was willing to do anything. So I put him to work immediately.
He brought the whip on the first date.
First date. I was like, all right, here are the rules. I put the house rules up on the wall. Here's what you need to follow.
You know the scary thing, now that I think back, the second photo shoot we had as a radio show, they had a whip there, and it looked very comfortable in your hand.
I did pick it right up, and I was like, oh, this thing. Oh, this old friend of mine. We're talking about whipped husbands. Does your wife have you whipped?
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com.
You sure got a new show up and running fast.
Sex, relationships, advice.
What's going on here?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Do you like a whipped guy, or would you rather have somebody equal?
No, we don't go into it wanting you to be like that. That's not how it happens. I mean, we start out being like, he's cute. Let's see where this goes. And then as we get to know you more, we're like, oh, he's willing to drive me places. He's willing to pick me up at the airport. Oh, he's willing to make the bed. Oh, he knows how to fold a fitted sheet. So you don't realize when you start doing that stuff early, that becomes your job.
Oh, that's how you think about it.
Yeah.
So that's now our job to make you French toast.
You didn't realize you were applying for a job, but there you go. Now we see your skill level.
And you stop doing your job at a certain point. We don't get that job anymore.
Well, yeah, on your birthday you do.
Okay, great. Christmas and my birthday.
Once a year. All right, so Dennis, who wears the whip in your family?
Well, every morning, when we get up, I'll bring my wife something to drink and bring her vitamins to her. Mm-hmm. While I'm in the shower, she brings me a cup of coffee, and when I get out of the bathroom, my clothes are laid out for me. She lays everything out: my socks, my t-shirts, everything. What clothes to wear, what shoes to wear with them.
Wow.
I go get her for lunch every day, and open the door for her, and just try and treat her like the princess she is.
Oh, Dennis, that's lovely.
Well, if I don't treat her with love, she won't treat me with love. It's kind of selfish, actually.
Mandy, how well trained is your husband?
My husband is awesome. I don't know if I've trained him, but I think he's just how he is because he's a great guy.
And what kind of stuff does he do for you?
Well, after we had our first child, we have one child, but after we had our child, he would get up with him every time he'd cry, and he would do all the diaper changing, and then he'd hand him over to me, and then I would do the feeding.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Isn't that awesome?
That's really awesome, because a friend of mine just had, are you ready for this, Mandy? Triplets.
Oh.
And her husband said to her, I'm not changing any diapers, by the way.
Oh.
And she's like, well, I can't put them back. We're sort of stuck with them now, so someone's got to help.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
What?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think it's okay to discuss your sex life, your relationship, your primary relationship sex life with your friends?
Yeah, that's why they're your friends.
So you and your buddies, you get into the details of your sex life.
Right, yeah. I mean, talk about everything. We're guys.
Really? I feel like that's weird. I feel like when you first start dating somebody, it's all you talk about with your friends. Like my girlfriends, my gay friends, they just can't wait to hear how big is it, how often, anything weird. They want to hear every detail, how many times in a week, how many times in a weekend. But once you get into a long-term relationship, I feel like that's personal then. It changes. It's in the beginning of the relationship, I'll tell you everything you want to know. But now that we've been together all this time, it's none of your business.
And it's not that exciting.
That's what you think.
Well, it's not that exciting to tell your friends. I mean, it's going to be, oh, man, last night, yeah, me and the old lady, guess what we did? Who cares?
It's less exciting for them to hear. Even if we're doing wacky stuff, it's oh, yeah, we know about that already. And you guys have been doing that for years. There's nothing new there.
Okay, do men or women get more graphic with their stories?
Oh, 100% women.
Women will get down to nitty gritty of what happened play by play.
Yeah, because they want to know stuff. They will. I have a girlfriend who she's single, and I love living vicariously through her. All the guys that she's dating, and she called me the other day after a date, and I figured her question was going to be should I go out with him again, or he did this and that. She was calling to ask, how do I say this kindly? She tasted something that didn't taste right to her, and she wanted me to hear about what it tasted like and what I thought about it. Mm-hmm. And she wanted my opinion on a certain taste. Is that the kindest way to put it?
So he gave her some wine, and she didn't like the wine.
Yeah, she didn't like the wine. The wine that he gave her
was sour.
Yeah, it didn't taste right. And she was worried, had the wine gone bad?
Mm-hmm.
Does she need to tell him to call a wine doctor?
Does she need to go see a wine doctor? Probably. Right. Yeah.
Somebody needs to go to a wine doctor. Yeah. But that was, and it was right after the date. It was her first question. She was like, I got to ask you something. So I'm thinking that she's going to say, he said something weird about his mother, or he's still dating somebody else, or it was going to be some relationship-oriented thing. No, she wanted to know. She wanted to get down and dirty. And it's very matter of fact. A lot of my girlfriends, when we go out, we have this, we call it the poor man's Sex in the City, because we're not half as interesting as those girls. but we do like to really share stuff. And I think it's like my generation grew up on Sex in the City, and they were the first to be like, women having sex like men, so let's talk about it. So my friends are all like that. They're really explicit. I mean, I've seen porn and been like, that's nothing. You should see what Deborah did on Saturday.
Well, I just love that your friend asked you that question. Instead of going to Google, she asked you for your advice on the wine.
Well, she wanted to know if I ever had that experience.
Well,
See, Google can't tell you that. Your friends can.
No, Google can. It can tell you if the wine is expired.
Expired.
No, but you want to know if other women have experienced expired wine.
Right.
And you want to know from your friends who you trust rather than just some rando on Google.
Now that's completely wrong because she went to the friend with the most experience.
Right, which is why she came to me.
And what did you tell her to do about the wine?
I said sometimes the wine doesn't taste good. It comes, it has to do with how the wine was made. Sometimes the wine wasn't made well. Sometimes the wine is made with junk food, and sometimes the wine is made with healthy food.
It's better if it's handmade.
Yeah.
It's like homemade, If you make biscuits by hand, it's kind of like making handmade
Just go
wine.
step on his grapes.
Expired.
Coming up next.
I want to know, what crazy thing did you wake up next to?
Coming up next.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
You sure got a new show up and running fast.
Sex, relationships, and vice.
What's going on here?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Some guy is having like a sexy weekend with some girl that he just started banging. Like their relationship was relatively new, right? So they go away for like a sexy weekend and they're staying at, whatever, the Best Western or whatever. He wakes up and there's a burglar in their room going through their stuff. Like that's what they woke up to some guy going through stuff in their room. So he chases the guy down the hall naked.
Is the guy naked or is the guy sleeping naked?
No, the guy sleeping was naked because it's a sexy weekend, so they're naked the whole time. You know how that is when you go away for a sexy weekend for the first time.
The guy breaking in wasn't naked, just the guy sleeping was naked.
He goes chasing him down the hall when he's like naked, and I guess he clobbered him. He jumped on top of him. Can you imagine like this guy naked on top of a burglar, and the burglar was like, "Ew, get off! Ew, get your penis off of me! You can have your stuff back."
Yeah, can you imagine being in room 112 and looking out your door and seeing one guy run past fully clothed and another guy run past buck naked? That's not gonna. Whatever. It's Best Western. I'm not.
You expected it at Best Western,
right?
No, but I would have thought it was like a couple having a fight.
Oh, and the guy's chasing the other guy, but they're actually dating.
Yeah, they're a couple, and one of them got naked and was like, "Hey,
I'm not gay,"
right.
And then the other guy's chasing him naked. I am gay, and yes, it's just a Saturday.
Yeah,
the budget motel.
Sex, relationships, and vice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
New phone. Who dis?
The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, and vice.
I woke up to something really wacky, and I'd forgotten about it until I read this story, and I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. So, the thing about living in a city with apartment buildings and stuff like that is there's always noise. There's always some idiot blasting music out of his car. Or we have this really crazy guy that lives across the way, and when he's not on his meds, he turns up the radio and he blasts the radio. We know it's the radio because you can hear, all the commercials and everything in between, and you can hear the station logo, all that kind of stuff. So he blasts the radio really, really loud, like the whole neighborhood could hear it. So I wake up one morning and some idiot is blasting Metallica. Which, I love Metallica, so I don't mind it usually. But I like when I play Metallica, not when somebody else chooses my music for me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I open the window, like, what the hell? It was Metallica.
The band?
Yeah, they were playing a concert. They were doing because I live near a park. And they were doing like some kind of, I don't know, they were raising money for something. It was some kind of concert in the park, and it was actually Metallica
People are
playing.
trying to sleep here, Lars. Shh. Tell James to keep it down. You woke up with Metallica next to you.
So what have you woke up to? Ever wake up to anything really wacky, either in your house or outside your window? What have you woken up to? Give us a call.
Back when I lived in New York and we lived in the same apartment, we had a problem for like a week of ants.
Right.
We had ants everywhere. I woke up
Everywhere.
and that was not the best way to wake up.
Yeah, I remember the first time I woke up to all those ants, and I was like, it was kind of that moment where you're like, I don't do drugs.
Expired.
Expired. No, actual ants, bugs. But it was one of those things where it looked like the walls were moving because there were so many of them. And I was like, am I high? Did somebody dose my coffee? Like, what's wrong with me? And it wasn't until I got closer, I was like, oh, the walls aren't moving. The ants are moving.
Yeah, that's how many ants there were in that apartment. We are paying so much a month for that apartment.
So much money.
That have ants everywhere.
What did you wake up to?
A pine tree.
So wait a second. So you're asleep. You good night's sleep. You get into your covers. You got your blankie. You got your willows. You're all happy.
I'm under my blankie, sound asleep, and it came crashing through the window. I didn't realize it. I woke up saying, "Who's been drinking gin in my room?" That's what woke me up, the smell of gin. And I realized there's a pine tree at the foot of my bed.
Oh my gosh!
Were you a kid or were you older?
No, I was older.
Oh, okay.
I was probably 21.
I've never heard of a pine tree attacking a human before.
You say something to make it mad?
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Here we go.
Sex,
Yes, please.
relationships, advice.
Are you ready?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
So you're telling me all through college you never woke up in somebody else's bed? You had no idea how you got there?
Oh, all the time. I just didn't know how I got there. But yeah, I woke up in lots of strange rooms. But the strangest thing I ever woke up to, this is funny. So I've always been kind of tiny and short, right? So I always sleep with a pillow on my head because it was always bright in my room, and then I put the blanket over me. So I was like sleeping in a little tiny ball, and my roommate thought that I was out for the night and I wasn't there because I was so little and I was covered in blankets and pillows, so she just assumed it was just blankets and pillows and not me. So she had a guy over and they were having sex all over the room because it was a dorm room.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved from her bed to mine.
Oh no, and you were still in bed.
I was still in bed. They started having sex. They were having sex on their bed and I was like, this is awkward, but I thought, let me just lay here and wait till they're done and then, let them know I'm here in the morning. I don't know what I was going to do. But then for some reason, they decided to get up and move the party from their bed to mine. I was like, oh, my God. They're having sex on my bed. What do I do?
Do you say something at that point or you just lie still?
Well, what I did is, luckily, she was on the bottom. So I leaned my foot down and I kicked her a little. And I saw her head whip around. And she realized I was there. So she says to the guy, she's like, Andrew, let's go back over here.
Let's go back to my bed.
Yeah, I was like, it's bad enough that now I have to listen to them, but at least they're not having sex on top of me. What'd you wake up next to?
I was 19. I was at a little house party. Me and a couple of roommates, and went to sleep with my now wife, who was just my girlfriend then.
Mm-hmm.
There was nobody else in the room. Granted, we had a little fun before we went to bed. I woke up, and next to me is my wife's best friend, naked. my wife's asleep on the other side. I'm in the middle, and her best friend is on the other side of me now, asleep and also naked.
Really? Keep going, Mike.
All right. So I'm freaking out, thinking that I did something. Well, a little bit of drunk. I mean, I find out later that her best friend is, had fun with someone else, and then came in to the bedroom for some reason, thinking it was her room, and thought she was sleeping next to someone else. So
That's the story they told you.
Call now
888-460-6002.
Yeah. And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice. What? The Cooper and Anthony Show.
My best friend has a toddler, and she woke up to the toddler with a cat in its arms, like coming in with the cat.
In the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night, the toddler walked in with a cat in its arms. And that may sound like a cute little story to you, except for the fact that they don't have a cat.
Or a toddler.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, yes. Relationships, yes. Advice.
And it's new.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
What have you woken up next to?
My dad was bad about not paying bills. We lived in a mobile home, and the way you heated is with an oil drum, and he was bad about never buying none. Mm-hmm. And so I had my mattress on the floor when I was sleeping. I get the hairdryer and plug it in and stick it under the covers to warm myself up.
Oh.
And some of those trailers, the vents,
nothing could go wrong here.
The vents were not in them. And I remember one night I was kind of laying there asleep, and I kind of woke up, and I had a cat named Mr. Fatty, and he was under the covers with me. And I felt something. I thought, oh, that's Mr. Fatty under the covers.
Of course.
That's the best
Mr.
name I've ever
Fatty
heard for a
was
cat.
Inside out because he was fat, and I didn't feel like coming up with a name. And so I thought to myself, no, Mr. Fatty is outside. He was an inside-outside cat, and so I crawled out from under the covers, got out, turned the light on, seen that lump under the covers. I threw the covers back in. It was a possum.
Oh, God.
Through that vent and crawled under the covers. That possum opened his mouth and just started hissing.
Wow.
Where was Mr. Fatty?
He was offended
Mr. Fatty
by
was outside, Anthony. He was outside. That was a bad neighborhood. I remember it was a mobile home park, and one Christmas I bought Mr. Fatty a sweater. I let him out. Somebody stole the sweater off my cat.
Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
New show. We must be perfect.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sex, relationships, advice.
Anthony, I have the most heartbreaking story for you.
Is it going to make me sad and cry?
Yes. I mean, most people would be like, who cares? But for you, this is going to break your heart.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Let me get a tissue.
Get a tissue. Don't get any lube. Just get tissue. So you know how like a lot of television and movies from back in the day that like younger generations are looking at and being like, oh, it's so inappropriate, or this is a problem, or you can never do this now. It's stupid stuff. Like there's so many shows and movies that are classic that people are trying to cancel retroactively. Mm-hmm. So they're coming for your favorite show on television ever.
Bret Michaels' Rock of Love?
Yes.
Why?
They're coming for Rock of Love. Yes, there's a whole article and people are freaking out because, okay, so first of all, episodes of Rock of Love, I didn't realize this, they're all on YouTube, so you can watch the show in case you missed it in 2007.
Out over it. Yeah, it's 20 years old almost. They're freaking out.
Okay, so now, for some reason, they're looking back at it like Rock of Love was some major thing we need to discuss. Like, just let it go. It was 2007. Who cares? But apparently, they care. They're saying that it was problematic.
Okay.
Okay, the very first episode, Bret takes sexy photos of all the girls for their backstage passes. And they're like, oh, my God, he's objectifying them. He's slut-shaming them. They're slut-shaming each other.
Hold on. Is this more than one person sitting in their basement watching YouTube? This has got to be just one person that got on YouTube and then went to Reddit and posted something. No more than one person is bitching about this.
If it was just Reddit, I'd be like, yeah, it's one guy who's just like, this is so not woke. It's this whole article on BuzzFeed.
So, okay, it's 3 people that all found the show at the same time. Hold on, people. Let me give you a list of other things to find on YouTube to complain about. Because there are much worse things out there than frickin' Bret Michaels' Rock of Love.
Yeah, they go through it. It's what's so funny. They don't just say, like, the show's problematic, it was really sexist and misogynist, and that's it. No, they go through it painstakingly, every scene. And my favorite thing is the biggest issue they have 2 really big issues with it. The fact that the women shame each other, like women should support each other. It's a reality show, first of all. Second of all, it's a competition show. It's a competition.
On VH1. Right. That doesn't exist anymore. Cancel VH1. Oh, you can't because it's not even on TV anymore.
In the second episode, the contestants were challenged to a phone sex thing where they had to seduce Bret over the phone in front of other girls.
Right.
And Bret is hooked up to a penile, some kind of graph, whatever. It's a gadget that measures blood flow to the penis because they want to see, like, was he getting a chub? Were the things the girls saying, were they working?
Of course it was. He was a rock star.
The other thing they really didn't like, I guess there's an entire challenge on motorbikes where they were given like these death-defying bikes and they were in a race and half the girls had never been on a bike in their life. And that was the challenge, like how well you ride the bike, I guess. So they were like, oh, it's really dangerous.
New rule. If you're complaining about a show that wasn't shot in HD and it's the small box on your TV, you can no longer complain about that show. You only can complain about shows that are in 4K, okay? There's the new rule. Don't go back and cancel things that look like crap on my TV now.
Coming up next.
What is your sex questions?
We're talking sex for a whole hour.
The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, advice.
Right now.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I'm going to give you a quiz to find out if you agree with everybody else. What turns you on?
Okay.
Tattoos. Turn on, turn off.
Huge turn on.
Turn on.
Yeah.
76% said turn on. When they respond super quickly to your text, turn on.
Off.
That's a turn off. If they're very talkative, turn on, turn off.
You know, I'm going to say turn off, and my boyfriend does not shut up, and I don't mind it.
Yeah, he doesn't shut up, and you don't shut up. If they're too overly confident.
Now that's a turn off.
That's a turn off?
Yeah, what are they hiding?
If they get jealous easily.
Hate that. Nope, huge turn off.
Oh, and this is my number one turn off. If they talk really loud.
What?
Yeah, see, that's a New York thing. That drives me crazy.
I can't tell you how often I'll be with anyone, usually a man, who's like, can you lower your voice?
Yeah.
Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
You faked?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show, sex, relationships, and advice. And this is the hour we take your calls about sex. Whatever's on your mind, about whatever's in your pants.
And Cooper can actually answer your questions because she's like smart and she's got a PhD. So she's a doctor. She can answer your questions smarty pants wise. Devin, you're up first.
My problem is that this girl that I've been seeing for a couple weeks now, in private, this girl is like all up in my grill, all on me, pressing me, and just like putting my hands wherever she wants them, and I'm just doing that thing. But in public, like, she'll completely ignore me. She'll be like flirting with all these other guys, and it's getting me pretty mad, and I've talked to her a couple times about it. But every time she says she'll stop, and the next time we're in public, she'll just ignore me and flirt with other guys, and then I'm like, what's going on? And she's just like, whatever. Should I like just say peace, or should I give her a chance? I don't understand.
I think it's time to peace out on this girl. 'Cause none of my answers are going to make you happy, Devin. Because it's one of two things. Either that's her foreplay, like she's super insecure, she likes other men, she wants to be wanted by other men, that gets her hot, and then she comes home and, wants to have sex with you. Or she's not that into you. You know what I mean? Other than sexually when you're alone, because she's super insecure. She doesn't want a relationship at all. She doesn't want one with you because women who are really into you, they don't do that. And the fact that you've already spoken to her and you've said, that makes me uncomfortable, don't do that, and she doesn't respect it, I gotta say, unless you just want to have a sexual relationship with her and nothing else, this girl is not into you, not only not into you, I think she's really unhealthy. I don't think she's somebody you should want to be with.
I think you should have 3 categories of girls in your life. You should have wife material, you should have booty call, and you should have friend. So right now, she moved from the wife material column to the booty call.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's a total booty call and nothing else, because she's not going to give you anything you want.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, yes! Relationships, yes! Advice.
And it's new.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
It's the sex hour. We're taking your sex questions, whatever. We always say whatever's on your mind about whatever's in your pants. Selena, what's going on?
I have kind of a difficult time having a vaginal orgasm versus a clitoral orgasm. I think it's because it's like a psychological thing. Because I physically have had them. It's just really, really rare. I kind of psych myself out whenever I get, near it.
When you get to that point, do you just stop? Are you distracted? What's happening?
It's kind of weird that I would be so psyched, like freaked out when I get to that point. But for some reason, I'm so concerned with how everything's going for him, and I just like when I get even close to it, I just panic, and then I always resort to the clitoral.
Vaginal orgasms are sort of rare. 26% of women have them, while over 70% have clitoral ones. So it's kind of rare that you're even having them to begin with. But, okay, so here's how to have a vaginal orgasm. If you angle, while you're having sex, you can get in a position. You writing this down?
I'm taking notes, yeah.
Okay, take notes. Because this is about stimulating the female G-spot.
I got it.
Anthony doesn't know what that is. But
it doesn't exist, but okay.
So if you get in a sexual position where you're angling towards your belly button, that's the direction where your G-spot is, and you find a pressure that feels good and stay with it, that's how to have a vaginal orgasm. But if you're having trouble with it because you're focused on him or you're distracted from your own pleasure, that's more of like a performance anxiety thing. So you can do one of two things. You can actually talk to your sig other about it, who I'm sure would say to you, no, I want to focus on you. Like, I want you to have pleasure. I want you to enjoy, and will relax you and realize that he is also focused on you the way you're focused on him. You can have sex in other ways. You can do other things. It doesn't have to be PIV, penis and vagina. Or I think for a lot of people, that's why they use music, because music is a good distraction. It kind of takes you out of yourself, and you can be in the moment, and you're not really concerned with, is he enjoying himself? Do I look good? How's my butt look? You're not thinking about any of that kind of stuff.
So put on some Van Halen and go at it.
Exactly.
So all the women that said they have a vaginal orgasm with me, they're all lying?
All women who have sex with you, I'm pretty sure, are probably lying.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
Yeah. And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Something called The Cooper and Anthony Show.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, and advice. And this is the hour we take your calls about sex.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Here we go.
Sex,
Yes, please.
relationships, advice. Are you ready? The Cooper and Anthony Show.
A whole hour, nothing but your sex questions, where Cooper, who's a doctor, by the way, a PhD, will answer your questions smarty pants wise. Sheila, what's going on?
I had a psychologist that I was supposed to see once a week. Normally I would see him probably about 3 times a week. And whenever I got upset, if it was like after school hours, I would still go up and see him. There was never any sexual or flirtations or anything. It was always very, very professional and everything went fine. The problem is now that I don't see him anymore, and now that I feel like I've really gotten my life together, I'm really healthy. I just feel like I'm sort of in love with him. Is that a normal thing to go through?
Totally normal. It's called transference. And it's literally the only thing that Freud got right. He got nothing else right. Most of his
She
theories
hates
are total
Freud.
BS.
By the way, Cooper hates Freud. Never bring that up.
Yeah, don't know. But this is the only thing that he sort of got right, that even like people that have disproven his theories over and over, like there's this huge Harvard study, never mind. It's called transference, and it means that all those feelings that you're having for a person, there's no person to put those feelings on, and you put it on your therapist because, listen, you're being really open with your therapist. The kind of stuff that you want to share, the intimacy that you want to have in a real relationship, you end up having with your therapist. So it's pretty common, transference, and it's totally normal. But think of it this way. It's not love. I mean, maybe you feel love. I'm not going to say what your feelings are. But when you love somebody, they're sharing their life with you also. Your therapist is not sharing his life with you. You don't know anything about him. As far as you know, he's out there killing puppies. You know, he could be a guy who yells at waitresses. You don't even know who he is, right? So it's totally normal. Don't judge yourself. I'm glad you stopped seeing him because that would be the first thing I would tell you, but you need to move on. And I will tell you 100%, he does not feel the same way about you.
I wonder if it happens more for women than it does men.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Is it like split down the middle?
Yep. In fact, it has nothing to do with gender. I mean, regardless of what gender you are being very intimate with the other person who's sitting there. You're telling them your deepest, darkest stuff that you don't tell anyone else. And they listen to you and they're there for you. So for a lot of people, that is a sexual turn on. You know, remember, the whole point of therapy is for you. It's you focused. It's the most narcissistic thing you could possibly do. It's very healthy. It's smart for you to do. But you're not getting to know your therapist. This is not a relationship. This is about, it's totally you focused. So of course you're in love with somebody who listens to you, who's completely there for you, who's the opposite of all the guys you've probably dated.
Who never listen to you.
Who never listen to you.
Yeah, when you start talking, we turn the TV volume up. It's, huh? What? That's how we listen. So if a guy actually listens to you nonstop for an hour or 45 minutes, I guess that's hot.
But Sheila, the lesson for you is that the next guy you're with that you're really into, share a little more of your life with him and let him share some of his life with you, because that's what real love is. You're both connecting with each other. The transference, it means it's one-sided. It's you're being listened to. You don't know anything about this guy.
The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, advice.
What?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Is it cheating if you're flirting online on like an app, you know, maybe Bumble or Tinder or one of those? If you're flirting online with a stranger who you plan to never meet and never hook up with, is that still cheating if you're in a relationship?
If you have Bumble or one of those apps on your phone, it's cheating.
Why?
Why would you have Bumble on your phone?
Because you are bored and you just want a little zhuzh. Like you just want somebody to pay attention to you.
Yeah, then
you know, like,
get out of my life.
No, but okay. I'll tell you why that's not fair. Because I would go to the gym and I'd wear cute little outfits, and there's definitely guys at my gym that would flirt with me. Nobody that I would ever go home with, nobody I ever gave my number to. There was one guy in particular, we didn't even exchange names. I don't even know his name. He's just gym guy. And every time I'd go to the gym, he would check me out. I would check him out. He'd come over and like say something flirty. But that was it. It never went further than that. There was no other conversation. And that's what this is. This is people downloading, I don't know, Hinge or Bumble or whatever app you like to find somebody just to flirt with, so you feel like someone's paying attention to you, but you're never going to meet up with them.
No, you have Bumble on your phone and we're dating. That's the last time you're going to hear from me. Because I'm gone. I'm gone.
You wouldn't know. That was the whole thing. I'm not going to tell you, hey, guess what? I've Bumble and I have like 10 guys telling me I'm hot.
But if I look over your shoulder and I see you on Bumble and we're dating, that's it.
Nobody's that stupid. You're not going to see me on Bumble.
I'm just telling you, if you have it on your phone, that's it. Yeah, we're done.
But you're not answering my question. Is it cheating?
Yes, 100%.
To flirt?
To flirt is that means you're not happy. If you were happy in a relationship, there would be no reason for you to flirt with anybody.
How is that different than flirting with somebody on Facebook or Instagram?
It's not. It's the
Somebody
same
you know?
thing. Same thing, but Bumble is a hookup app.
Oh, yeah, like Facebook isn't. Like no one's ever hooked up on Facebook.
Okay, so if you're talking to somebody on Facebook, you're cheating too. So you don't need to be with me.
But what if it's somebody in like England that I'm never going to meet?
It don't matter.
That's cheating.
There's airplanes. Yeah, there's airplanes. You can come over. It's going to happen. There's nothing good is going to come of that ever.
You know, there are a lot of people out there, actually. 17% of these dating apps, there was a new survey found, 17% of people on the dating apps go on there specifically for that. They have no intention of meeting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a relationship. They just want a little flirty conversation with a stranger.
And that's fine. You just don't have to date me.
Okay, so it's not okay with you.
I don't let anybody drive my car.
Got it.
So,
right.
You know, I don't even let people put their feet up in my car.
That's true. As a professional passenger, I can say that's 100% true.
And that's my car.
Right.
I love my car, but not that much. But I love my car so much, I'm not on VW.com looking at other cars because I do love my car and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, but okay, that's a good analogy. So what about once in a while you want to ride a bicycle? Or you want to ride a motorcycle? Or someone takes you horseback riding?
That's fine, as long as you're not driving my car.
No, but you're not in another car. You know what I mean? Your car's still your car. You just went for a bike ride one day. So what if the woman you're with just goes on a little moped ride one afternoon? Just a little moped, you know, maybe Vespa, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, it's so exhilarating that she comes home and she wants to drive your car.
As long as she rode the Vespa by herself. And she can drive my car by herself all she wants. I don't really care if you drive my car every day. 3 or 4 times, I don't care. As long as somebody else doesn't drive my car, I'm sorry. We're moving on.
Coming up next!
I'm poking the Anthony voodoo doll. Who has a spell on you? And what spell is that?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
You sure got a new show up and running fast.
Sex, relationships, advice.
What's going on here?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
All right, now we love single men because they're single. So they're awesome. Except for one thing. Single men, you guys are awesome, but you're gross. You're gross. According to a new study, single men do not wash their sheets. And if they do, it's like every 4 months or whenever they remember, which is like never for some guys. And when I was single and I'd go to a guy's house, oh my God, the stank on the sheets. I'd be like, let's go make out on the couch. Why? Come to my bed. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think when I was growing up, I ever changed my sheets.
Right.
I ever changed my sheets, like ever.
Yeah, I mean, I dated a guy that had one set of sheets and one towel. And I was like, so do you just wash everything and then put it back? He's like, eventually. I'm like, eventually? Buy a second towel at least. They're not expensive. Yeah, this says that more than half of single men say that they wait 4 months or more to wash their bed sheets. 12% say they wash them if they remember or when they remember.
When you remember should be when you crawl into bed.
The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Whoever has the Cooper voodoo doll, please stop poking pins in the boob part of it.
Wait, hold on. I got to put it down.
Of course it's you.
Let me smack it in the head first.
Ow. Stop that. Put that away. No, I'll tell you why. Okay, so I wore a water bra to work the other day. And if you want to know what a water bra is, it's stupid. I don't even know why. I bought it when I was in Ireland a couple of years ago. It was like the thing there. All my girlfriends were buying it. Oh my God, a water bra. They were going nuts for it. So I was like, well, you know how I don't have the girl gene? So I was like, well, they know something I don't know. Let me buy 2 of them. So I bought them and I stuck them in my drawer, and they've been sitting there for a couple of years. So picture something sitting with water in it, literally water, for years. Okay? I'm like, oh, I forgot about these things. So I put it on to go to work, and it didn't occur to me that it might be leaking.
From the time I was born until now, I've never heard the word water and bra together in the same sentence. I've never heard that ever in my life. I don't know what that is.
It's like temporary fake boobs. So you know how it's like padding in a bra, but instead of padding, it's water. So you can kind of like mush it around and put it where you want it. And it's very comfortable. It's very comfortable. It's like a water bed. It's like a water bed for your breast.
You can hear Cooper coming down the street. Squish, 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 squish. The hell is that?
Well, it's not supposed to go squish, squish, but because it's been sitting in a drawer for years, it didn't occur to me to, I don't know, check it, to see if it had leaks, to see if I didn't think about like what water must be sitting in a drawer for 2 years must happen to it. So I'm sitting at this meeting, and my girlfriend leaves over. She goes, "Are you breastfeeding?" I was like, I don't have children, so that would really be a miracle. Why? Why would you ask? I was thinking like I put on weight, my boobs are big maybe. She was like, she points to my boobs, and I looked down, and I had these 2 big water stains on my shirt, but like right where my boobs are, like right where my nipples are, right in the middle of this meeting. So I was like, oh man, I just crossed my arms, which made it worse because I crossed my arms and put pressure on the water. So I felt it like squirt. Now it's going like down my pants, like I just peed myself. I was like, oh, this is not going to be pretty. I need these people to stop talking. Yeah. Yeah, so it totally deflated.
I'm going to tell you as a guy, that's super hot. When you take your shirt off and you go, the hell is that? It's a water bra. The hell is that? Get away.
Because I get thirsty, you know.
Like you're a hiker. You put a straw in it. You're like a camel.
Like a camel.
Water bra. I've heard everything now.
Yeah, and the saddest thing is like nobody was shocked. They were like, yep, that's Cooper. So I was like, somebody put a spell on me. Like this kind of stuff happens to me at work. Like that kind of stuff does not happen at home, doesn't happen with my friends. It's always when I'm at work. Somebody put a spell on me that like when things are good and life is going well, there's going to be like a voodoo spell on me in a meeting.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to fail.
So that's the spell I'm under. What spell is on you?
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
New show. We must be perfect.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sex, relationships, advice.
I always have the spell on me of 50-50 spell. So what that is if you give me a choice between A or B, I'm always going to pick the wrong one. Always. So that's why I don't bet on football games, because I always pick the wrong one. If you put something in your hand right now, find anything, and put it in one hand, and shuffle it around, and then hold up your 2 hands, and I'll pick the one. All right, it's in the right one.
No.
See, I told you. It's the 50-50 spell. I always get it. Hand. It was in your left hand. I always see it.
Hand, yeah.
I always get it wrong. That is the worst spell to have.
Yeah, that is a bad spell. How about you, Jack? What spell are you under?
Every time I go out, I don't try to pick up tricks. I just try to meet somebody to go out on dates with. Pretty much consistently, everybody that I've tried to date and have dated has ended up being married.
No.
And I don't know what it is about me, but single women will not give me the time of day. But married women just won't leave me alone.
That's interesting. You must have a let's have a secret affair look
Yeah,
on you.
good job.
Well, I'm single. I have a good job. I like to cook. I don't mind cleaning. And my friends and I got the theory that these women's husbands don't do any of these things anymore because they got married.
Down, Cooper. Down.
They're kind of looking for that pre-marriage state.
So, Jack, what kind of stuff do you cook?
Stop.
I had a couple of years of culinary arts.
Really?
Can you make anything good chocolate?
Well, I actually have a homemade recipe for a Reese's cheesecake.
Oh, Jack. Come to mama.
Call now
888-460-6002.
Yeah. and online at cooperandanthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
What?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Somebody put the do not save money spell on me this year.
They put it on you since birth. What are you talking about? The minute you got your student loan, forget money. It's gone.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought I was supposed to use my student loan for student things, but actually I used it for things that students wear, like shoes and clothing and fun things to go eat. Yeah. So I've always had that problem. And this year I was like, that's it. I'm saving money. And then, all the sales are this time of year. So I have the do not save money spell on me.
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at cooperandanthony.com. Sex,
with an attitude.
relationships,
I had a relationship once.
and advice.
So you got any advice for me?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
The spell I'm under is it doesn't matter what time I leave my house, I get in traffic. I have the traffic spell. I'm always in traffic. Always. It's going to take me 10 more minutes to get somewhere because of traffic.
And you've always had that spell on you because you and I used to do a morning show. So we would leave for work at like 4:30 in the morning when there is no traffic. Yet somehow you would always find the only place where there was traffic at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, there's 3 people on the road and I'm behind all 3. That's the spell I'm under.
That's always the spell you're under. Oh, and I'm also under the cheesecake spell. I can't stop eating cheesecake this week.
You're always under that spell.
No, it's really bad. Like, there's a place that opened up near me, and they have flavored cheesecake. So I was like, well, I have to try the blueberry. Well, I got to try the chocolate cheesecake. Oh, they have a crumb. So I make my boyfriend every night. He's like, cheesecake. I'm like, cheesecake. So I'm having I'm under the cheesecake spell this week.
Well, the problem is you're from New York, and it's called New York cheesecake.
Right, it's delicious.
If it was called New York French toast, you'd eat that too.
I'd eat that too, yeah. Well, no, I'm usually under the French toast spell. This week it's a cheesecake spell. Jackson, what spell are you under?
My spell that I was put under this week, I think, is the don't give a crap spell. I mean, I care about my schoolwork and everything, the things that really count. But as far as what people say and what people do and people in general, not even directing it towards me, just being stupid, I just don't care.
Really? So you're kind of having a let things roll off your back kind of spell.
Yeah, pretty much. And as far as the cheesecake thing, can I join in?
Yeah, I can't eat an entire cheesecake myself every night.
Oh, so you don't go with a piece, you go with the whole cake.
Well, they don't sell it by the piece at the place I go to. It's like a competition now. It's like they sell me an entire cheesecake, and I'm like, I see you. I see you people. I'll be back tomorrow.
You need to find a place that sells just a slice.
That doesn't exist in my world. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I don't want to find it.
Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
You sure got a new show up and running fast.
Sex, relationships, advice.
What's going on here?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I want to know if you would break up with your significant other over any of these things.
Yes to all.
Yes to all. Oh, it's been one of those weeks, has it?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm with a great guy. I'm teasing.
We'll see if you agree with everybody else when this. They never wash their hands. You break up or you try to work it out.
I think you can work that. If you're going to break up with somebody because they don't wash their hands, you're too high maintenance.
Yeah.
Just teach them how to wash their hands.
59% of people said that's it, breaking up with them. Really?
Nightmare. Then you're the nightmare. If you can't say to the person you're with, I'd like you to start washing your hands more, that would be really helpful. And I would probably want to have more sex with you if you did that.
They snore super loudly.
That is not a deal breaker. You can that's, it's not like they're snoring to spite you. They snore.
86% of people said, yeah, we're going to work it out. They tell you they want to be in an open relationship.
Okay, that's a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker. That's a breakup.
Hang on, unless you're into open relationships.
19% of people said try to work it out. 81 said that's it, gone, get out of here.
Right, because 19% of people probably are into open relationships and 81% of people like monogamy.
So 19% of people want to bang their friends too. That's why.
But it's not always their friends. Sometimes it's strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's somebody you meet in a bar, My friends that are in open relationships, one of them, they have somebody they call a regular guest star. Mm-hmm. And that's like, a regular person. That
I'm the comedy sidekick.
Right? The comedy sidekick who shows up. And then I have another friend that she and her husband both travel for a living, and they decided that open marriage, nothing in the city that they both live in, but when you're on the road, fair game.
Different zip code.
Yep.
Like that. They always forget your birthday.
Ooh, forgetting your birthday is really, I have to say that's a deal breaker. Yeah, that just shows an overall not caring about you and your life and how how they feel about you. I think that's an indication of something bigger. So yeah, break up.
They always ask to borrow money.
Oh, that's definitely a deal breaker.
That's a breakup?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, if someone's always asking to borrow money, listen, I'm not your mother. I'm your girlfriend. If you're asking to borrow money, then it becomes more like a parental relationship, and then forget about sex.
Now you're asking me for a quarter so you can ride the ride outside of Kmart.
Right, exactly. So yeah, no, then it becomes a parental relationship, and it's not hot. No, deal breaker.
84% of people said break up. They insist on having your password to your phone.
If that is not a deal breaker for you, it needs to be. That is a huge red flag.
Only 67% of people said break up, though. 33% said that's not a problem.
Suckers.
Yeah, exactly. They better be hot as hell. They have bad breath. Break up, try to work it out.
No, try to work it out.
No, I say break
Please.
up. I can't stand that. That's a deal breaker for me.
Over bad breath.
That's a breakup.
No. Okay. People have bad breath for lots of reasons. Sometimes they have stomach issues. Sometimes they have like a cavity. If they have bad breath because they don't brush their teeth, again, it's all stuff you can work out. Let me take you to a dentist. Let me find out why you have halitosis.
I don't like it. Don't like it at all. They talk the entire time during TV shows and movies.
Well, I've stayed with my boyfriend despite that.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.